Imagine if your plant ran on autopilot. Your people knew with crystal clarity what to do, and they do it. Imagine every resource's activity is synchronized to your customer's need, that you deliver every order, not only when you promised it, but sooner, and your team is engaged more in fire prevention and firefighting. Imagine every order you sell is delivered on time, in less time, with minimal management intervention. I'm Mark Whipple. I'm the developer of the Maximum Flow system. In short, the Maximum Flow system creates a simple structure to manage the order fulfillment process and the associated accountabilities to focus the entire organization around the goal of on-time completion. The benefits of the Maximum Flow system are as follows: 20% more throughput, 25% shorter production lead times, 15% more sales, 20% more cash flow every month, and improved labor productivity of 15% or more. Despite the advances in information technologies and systems, most plants manage the order fulfillment process of prioritizing and managing customer orders as if it were an art, using a craftsman approach rather than treating order fulfillment as a system requiring a process to manage and control. Rarely is the order fulfillment process treated as a process with sequential steps and appropriate controls. Instead, order fulfillment is delegated to the resource owners, or the plant, who have more incentive to be efficient than to deliver on time. As a result, the important task of customer satisfaction is an afterthought in process improvement. In the end, orders are thrown over the wall from sales to production like hand grenades that might explode into a product that satisfies the customer. The Maximum Flow system causes people to synchronize their day-to-day efforts towards the delivery requirements of the customer, which results in on-time delivery of the customer's order with less effort and minimal management intervention. The system is built around identifying the bottleneck resource in your order fulfillment process, then consistently focusing all activity around maximizing the output of that resource. This happens by creation of a centralized scheduling system, changing the measurements to emphasize on-time delivery, developing a simple capacity planning model for your business, implementing a structure to plan and manage the capacity, and implementation of early warning mechanisms to drive early action on risks to on-time delivery. The Maximum Flow process looks like this. First, we create the right measurements, those measurements that are going to create and generate the right behaviors. Then we build a simplified capacity model of your business. Then we reconcile the demand to the supply, prioritizing the existing work, and then we communicate those priorities to the team, usually around a visual system. Then we connect the order promising process of committing capacity with the capacity model itself, and then we connect the capacity model to the senior management and the business planning process for the entire system. Typically, there's no special software or additional expenditure required to run the system. We can use Excel or anything else. It does require a full-time scheduler, however. Now, this person is usually moved from another position and should not increase overall overhead. In fact, what happens is the implementation results in a reduction of costs related to poor process management, typically in the form of reduced overtime spending, premium freight, and wasted effort. For a small plant of about 100 people, the numbers would look like this. Now, this is a very expensive master scheduler, but suppose that we did have to increase our expenses by $70,000 per year. That would be offset by a reduction in overtime, a 5% increase in sales, and a 15% inventory reduction for a typical annual return on that $70,000 of $490,000. Now, we often think that complicated models are the only kind that can be used to make good decisions. The truth is, we don't need a complicated model because our data is inaccurate. In fact, the range of error in our decision making is well within the data error range. Now, put another way, it doesn't matter if the road is 10 feet wide or 11 feet wide. As long as we turn when we're supposed to, it doesn't affect when we decide to turn. Therefore, the trick is to make a simple model with selectively accurate information and include buffers in the process to compensate for variation that we do find. The maximum flow scheduling process results in a shift in thinking and behavior. The process of delivering on time becomes a team responsibility, although there is individual accountability. On-time delivery is the primary measurement of the maximum flow system, not efficiency, and capacity and demands on that capacity are carefully controlled. There's a distinct emphasis on synchronization or flow rather than maximum efficiency or achieving lowest cost. Now, the maximum flow system also brings some people benefits to your organization. First of all, your plant becomes a much easier and more profitable place to work. Second, your people actually work as a team with their own accountabilities, their own responsibilities. As a result, there's a lot less stress and there's a minimal amount of firefighting, almost none. In fact, no firefighting, but fire prevention. Now, production managers will sacrifice some control over the priorities. But what they gain is increased efficiency. They get a clear direction on what to do and when to do it, a clear process for action. No more last-minute priority changes. No taking orders from several different people about what to do. Your people are allowed to do their work without interruption, thus improving their job satisfaction and productivity. Salespeople, project managers, and other managers like the results of the system as well. Now, while they may sacrifice their ability to walk out onto the floor and change priorities, what they gain is a greater reliability in shipping performance, consistent revenue performance, and a predictable system. In fact, after a while, they don't want to go on the shop floor and help. If you want to learn more about the maximum flow scheduling system, and I hope you do, here's some things that you can do to learn more. First, you can download our white paper at maxflow.biz, which explains the maximum flow system in more detail. Or you can visit my blog at pinnacle-strategies.com and click on the blog link where you'll find much more information on improving your order fulfillment process. Or if you really want to get started improving your process, you can enroll in the Maximum Flow System Coaching Program. The Maximum Flow Coaching Program is where you can learn the details of the Maximum Flow system and how to implement it in your facility. The coaching program is a teaching and coaching program where I work with you to get the results in your business. It's low cost, and I do offer a money-back guarantee. To enroll in the coaching program, click on the appropriate link at the website.